Alright, so I'm back and I'm here to talk to you about new Apple TV series, Still Up.
We're all trying our best. All it takes is that one person to really see you.
So, Still Up is a comedy drama series by Apple TV, and it's about two insomniac, two friends who are trying to connecting over their endless night of lack of sleep. So basically, they're not able to sleep. They're two friends that they've known each other for like 2 or 3 years. We don't know all the details. The more the series advances, we know a little bit more about the relationship. So they have trouble sleeping, and a bunch of crazy stuff happen to them along the way, like maybe falling for each other. So that's basically the premise of it. It's not a spoilers. It's become pretty obvious from the first episode that this is kind of going somewhere with their relationship as friends. Or are they friends? Will they? Won't they? That's a little bit a topic of the series as well. So Danny is played by Craig Roberts, and he plays this awkward single man who's having agoraphobia, so he has trouble going outside of his home. Both of them, they have trouble sleeping, and they kind of call each other during night when they have trouble sleeping, and a bunch of stuff, a bunch of crazy situation ensues. So what I think about the show, I felt like it was a decent comedy drama for adults. There's a certain enjoyable quality to the concept. The fact that they can't go to sleep, they're always up during night. I'm kind of a night owl myself, so I kind of related to that aspect of the series. It's very light on either the comedy, the drama, or the romance. So I would say it's not exactly a great show. It's not something I would recommend to a lot of people. So it's cliche, it's predictable, but yet there's a very bingeable quality to it, because I started watching the show and I watched all 8 episodes in maybe a day or two. Well, yeah, probably 2 days. But it's kind of a quality the show has because of the concept and the way it's structured. And it's very light and breezy. So you watch one episode, you kind of feel like watching the other one afterward. It's not too heavy. The episode go by pretty quick. So I have some good things to say about it overall. I just felt that it was a little bit empty, and it could have been more, going more into their themes, because it feels like a lot of it was very much on the surface, whether it's a relationship between Danny or Lisa or their troubles sleeping. They talk a little bit about insomnia in general and trying to inform the audience a little bit about that, but it kind of felt more like a purpose, kind of like a MacGuffin for the whole story, the fact that they have trouble sleeping, so they just put those two characters in that situation. And since Danny has trouble coming out of his house, they're always separated, so it's kind of like it kind of highlights a little bit a certain lack of chemistry. By the way, both leads, I feel they're really good in their roles, good actors, but there's a certain lack of chemistry between them that I felt like I had trouble believing at times, that they were like so much fun and always calling each other, and also maybe falling a little bit for each other. Kind of felt like I had a little bit of trouble buying that aspect of the show. It kind of speaks a little bit about how they're always going on surface, and the writing is a little bit like they keep it very simple, if I may say so. It's a very simple show, so it's actually something I would put on late at night, because the concept of the show kind of like is very fitting for that. It's funny at times, and you get attached to the characters the more you watched it, which means at the end of the day, I had a good time watching it. I feel like they did a good job with the characters, like trying to build them an arc and some backstory and a background that made the show more interesting to watch. So yeah, that being said, don't expect like the funniest comedy or the heaviest drama, the most moving drama of the year. It's very on the surface with its theme, and it's never fully commits to the act, I felt like. But at the same time, you don't necessarily want a heavy, depressing show, and I feel like this show was kind of designed to be this simple, light, breezy, and effective show, just getting the job done, and it does the job. Just felt like it was lacking a little bit in a lot of department, especially emotionally, because they're trying to pull some cords, some emotional cord here and there, and it's not always working. In terms of comedy, it's funny on the pages sometimes, and they get into like really crazy situation. It's very quirky at times in terms of comedy, but their attempts at physical comedy is not always working. Get some really out there situation. Like I said, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like some really crazy stuff happens sometime, and it's clearly designed to shock us and make us laugh by being surprised, but it's not always working. But that being said, I was surprised a lot of time. I was talking about predictability, and in terms of story, right from the beginning, you kind of see where this is going. And every episode, I had a feeling like I could mapped out all the beats of the episode, and most of the time I would be right. But it can also surprise you in some ways with the comedy and some scenes. Some of the things I didn't expect coming, and that was interesting to watch. At the same time, when I was watching it, I kind of felt like I was asking myself, like, who is this aimed for? I had trouble seeing, like, is this for people who have trouble sleeping? Is this for, it's not necessarily for someone who's looking for, it's not a rom-com, so I wouldn't recommend this for someone who wants something romantic. It's not exactly super funny, it's not exactly super dramatic, so I had trouble saying, like, who is this for? What's the point of the show while watching it? But I did watch it in 2 days, so that's something the show did right, trying to keep the hook on me. And I feel like in some ways Apple should have released the whole 8 episodes when they release it, because watching this week by week, I don't know if people are gonna be, it's gonna be interesting enough for them, like it's gonna be sustainable to keep on for the whole series. Kind of feel like it's something you would watch like very quickly and be, oh, that was fun, and kind of forget about it. I don't even know if there's a second season, if I would watch it. I would probably watch it, because I'm curious where this is going with the characters. But it kind of speaks about the nature of the show itself. Very disposable, but enjoyable in some way. And at the end of the day, I feel like it's pretty mundane. I have trouble giving a negative score, and I have trouble giving a positive score, because of the way, like, I'm kind of like torn between those two feelings I have. So if I have to give it a score, I would give it a 6 out of 10, like really generous 6, just to give it a passing grade, because I enjoyed myself, but it really has trouble going over there and doing the extra mile. The show is well made overall. I love the music, the intro. It kind of has a vibe to it, a nighttime vibe, after hours vibe, that I enjoy myself, like I said, as a night owl. But overall, what was the point of the show is a little bit my question. What I ended up thinking, like, was it worth it? So this is why I'm going like really like generous 6 passing grade for Still Up.
Tonight's the big night.